Hi, I'm Alvin Clayton Fernandez, and I'm an artist living in New Rochelle. And my influence has been Matisse, and I've been very safe for a long time with my art. And it's beautiful art, but as told by a lot of people. And I paint what I love and what I'm passionate about. But there comes a time when the artist, if he has a platform, he has to use that platform for what is really important. My art has always been important to me. I've always painted what I've loved, but I've always been very safe with my art. It's represented in my day-to-day life and how I saw myself and my people in a positive light. And this new body of work, this political work, is me stepping out of my comfort zone and finally just taking a time and not really caring what others feel or think or how they're going to accept me. It's just my expression. It's one other layer of who I am as a person. It's much more personal because we tend never to really discuss religion or politics. And so that part has stayed very close to my chest. But I think now in the climate that we're in, we can no longer afford to be silent. So that's why I did this body of work, and I decided I wanted to share it with the community. Because this is also me, this is how I feel, and this is my American Scream. This piece is Justice Blind. What can I say about it? It really speaks for itself. But as you can see, she's peeping. You can see there's a black kid and a white kid. And when we come before the justice system for the same crime, we're not given the same punishment. And there's something wrong with that. There's something very wrong that black Americans and white Americans have to have a different level of justice. If justice is supposed to be blind, then it should be uniformed across the spectrum. But we bring everything of who we are in front of the court, and they know before we're there who we are. So I think the system is somewhat rigged, and justice is peeping, and she knows who is in front of her and what crime and what punishment she's going to put to fit the crime. I did this piece on President Obama because I was so proud in 2008 of us coming to where we were. I was proud of America and the hope of a new beginning for all of us. So that was the reason that I painted him with dignity. And I painted him with the American flag that people try to talk about, that he's not patriotic and all these different things, which is absurd, but I wanted this painting to represent it. And you know what? If the insignia on his handkerchief, it says Barack Hussein Obama. I wanted people to say the whole name because, regardless of what your religion is or whatever you are, you're an American. The other piece I'd like to talk about here is the head of the Republican Party. First of all, the painting is a large painting, and the head of the Republican Party is very prominent. You can see the elephant in the back to signify the Republican Party, and there's Donald Trump, and there's these beautiful colors, and it was all intentional. I wanted to show that we think things are beautiful, but once we start peeling away layers, we know that there's ugliness in there. And even though I use bright and vibrant colors to express this painting, if you look at the anger and the hate that is in the actual image of the person, it tells you the hate that I feel this person carries. This next piece is called My American Scream. It took me a lot to get to this point to do this piece. and it's based on the painting The Scream. But there's so much, that's how I'm feeling inside. I want to scream. The injustices that we hear every day, the people being murdered, the people being abused, the people that's not getting the opportunities. And the person that is supposed to be, that's supposed to unite us is so divisive, and he's creating this tension. It's like, who's going to speak for us if not the President of the United States? And so I had to go to this canvas, and you notice the Statue of Liberty is in the background, and the Statue of Liberty is crying a tear of blood, because this is a symbol of equality and welcoming and unity, and yet there's this person at the top who's trying to divide us and say, you don't belong, even though this Statue of Liberty welcomed us all. And this painting was done right after the Virginia debacle, that this man came out and had as the President of the United States people that were Ku Klux Klan people marching against peaceful people and actually killing someone, and he came out and said that they're good people here. How could you? How could you? It was unconscionable, and that was my scream. I had to scream, and I had to put it on canvas. And I thank God that I have that escape to be able to put things on canvas that most people don't have. And if this wasn't my escape, I don't know. Could I have been a violent person? I don't know. I'm just thankful that I'm able to put it on canvas and people can look at it, and it's going to go into generations. This is going to be a piece that represents the time that we're living in with this president. This president represents everything that is in this painting, and the scream of this black man is the scream of everyone. This scream is telling you that we are tired. We can't take it anymore. We are tired. Tired. This piece here, representing in honor of Elijah Cummings, is an aspirational piece. What he did for the Congress, he was so powerful, and he was so eloquent, and he was so balanced, and he was the guy that gave that olive branch. That's what we need in this country. We need empathy. We need passion. You know, we need to pass this on to our children. And as Elijah said, America, we are better than this. We are better than this. And with these paintings, I hope that you look at them and you see somebody as myself that feels somewhat privileged to be in this country, and feel privileged as a business person, that I have certain advantages that others don't have. And if I'm feeling this way, and people that know me, I'm not a divider, but if I'm feeling this pain, think of my community that are not as fortunate as I am. Think of that kid that when the police comes to him, as young black people feel they're being disrespected every day, and they don't have the grace to handle it the way that I might handle it. They're the ones that's ending up dead. For no other reason except they're trying to stand up, and you're telling them they can't stand up. Why? Because you have your knees on their throats. So somehow just walk out of your shoes and feel empathy. Feel some empathy for this person, because I know I feel empathy for you. The Lindsey Graham piece, it's very controversial. It deals with Lindsey Graham almost having two sides. And I think a lot of us have wondered what happened to Lindsey Graham. First, he said everything that we thought that was appropriate about the present president, and all of a sudden there was a 360 turnaround. I have my own theories on that. There have been rumors about Lindsey Graham's personal life, and I believe that maybe this president has a CIA file or something that, plans to out Lindsey Graham or something, but something definitely happened. And so I had a little bit of fun with this, a little tongue in cheek, and this is what I came up with. And it's really deep on a lot of levels. The flag signifies the flag that's draped over his friend John McCain's coffin. As you'll see, John is written on there, and there's a double play on that word John. Also, if you look really deeply, there's the things that he said about the president, race baiting, xenophobic. But all of a sudden, everything went the other way. So I have my theories on that. So that's why I did this painting. And he's enabling President Trump, if you look in the corner, to basically, pee on the American flag and our Constitution. The Emperor has no clothes. This is one of the last pieces that I've actually done in the series, and it was inspired by the last incident with the president using the military to basically attack other Americans, which is such a fascist type of action. So I did this one, The Emperor Has No Clothes, and if you notice, the soldiers behind are not American soldiers, but they're German type soldiers, because it's almost a march towards fascism. And the outfit that the president has, there are symbols on the outfit. It's actually from Dreyfus's book on universal symbols for hobos. Jean-Michel Basquiat uses a lot of his images in his paintings. And this actual image, this symbol means an ill-mannered individual lives here. And I put that intentionally. And the symbols on the sock in this painting basically says, get away from here quickly. Notice the president is walking and the soldiers are walking on the American flag, because I believe that the Constitution is under fire right now. The graffiti, there's a wall that the president walked by that had a lot of graffiti on it, and there were obscene things that were being said in that graffiti. I decided not to go that route, so what I did was I wrote in different languages, German, Russian, Chinese. It all says, the emperor has no clothes. And on top, the graffiti says, the Constitution matters. So that's how I feel about what's going on right now. And the Bible that the president had, I thought it was a big stunt. He even had it upside down at one point. So in my painting, I have him holding a book that appears to look like the Bible, but instead of having it be labeled the Bible, it's written the Book of Stunts. Because I think that's like one of his final stunts that he's done that just was like a line too far. I felt powerless, like a lot of these voters are feeling right now, and a lot of these protesters are feeling right now. I felt powerless. And so my only way of protesting was to go to my canvas, because that's my escape. And so I've created this body of work dealing with my feelings, and it's my truth of what I feel with these paintings. And it's political. I'm not saying it is for everyone, but I think in just sharing it with some of my friends, this is how they're all feeling. And it deals with basically from going to President Obama with hope and inspiration to this man that's divisive. She's one of my heroes, is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And if you notice, it's a beautiful image of her. But if you look in the background, the shadow is one of the scales of justice. And I believe that she is even-handed with that. And so that's why I put the scale of justice in the back of her, because she's, I think, a just jurist. And so this is actually one of my favorite pieces in the show. The Elephant in the Room is a piece, it's almost in an abstract form, and there's all these people around the table, and there's an image of an elephant with Donald Trump's image on it. And the Republicans, I think they all know and they're all embarrassed by who this person is. But for whatever fear they have of being primaried or whatever, they never really speak about it. But yet, they speak about everything else, but yet this huge elephant is in the room. And so that was my motivation for doing this piece. This one is called What's Going On. And the words actually what's going on are written there. And you can see the Republican elephant image and the donkey's image in the painting. And it's just really asking what's going on, because it's all confusing. There's a lot of things going on. And I asked of the question, what's going on? So that's what I did with that piece. Can't tell one ass from another. It's you'd see the Republican elephant and the donkey. I think sometimes things get so whacked, you really don't know who you're dealing with. Everybody take their sides, and it all becomes a situation where nothing gets done. And at the end of the day, you know, an ass is an ass. So that was my motivation behind that piece. As an American, I didn't vote for Trump, but as the President of the United States, you want what's best for the United States. And I hope that that's what every American would want. Except that as time went on, even though I was rooting for this guy to be and do something right for America, I just saw it unraveling in front of my eyes. I saw the vision. I saw the meanness. I mean, we saw it before he was actually in office, and people gave him the benefit of the doubt. They were saying, you know what, we want this, he's going to change when he gets in there. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. And I was hoping that that would be right and that I would be wrong for not voting for him. But I've been proven that I was right, and a lot of people got conned. So this is another piece that I kind of had a little bit of fun with, you know, tongue in cheek. It just seemed there was a lot of things going on where the president was coming up with things that were totally unconstitutional, and that wasn't coming from me. That was coming from a lot of the scholars around. They're like, you can't do this. It's not constitutional. So I figured out he may never have read the Constitution. So I have Nancy Pelosi speaking, actually having him in her arms with the Constitution in her arms, reading him the Constitution, hoping that he would learn. Lining up for gun reform. People were joking around saying that, you know, the best way to get gun reform is to have black people register for guns. And so I had a little bit of fun with this, and I did this piece. Another piece that's really affected me in a really difficult way was the border piece. And it's people coming at the border and being placed in cages and not being able to get into the country at a time when really, you know, there was really no problem. And so I wanted to highlight that, and there's the vigilante guy with the gun who does not have any authority to support, to defend people from coming into the country, and they're there. So that's why this piece, the Border Patrol. Another piece that I had fun with is the favorite clap. Nancy Pelosi at the State of the Union, where she gave the president that little, I don't want to say, it's probably a tennis clap, I think it was called. But in the painting, it says it was also around the time when there was a lot of controversy about the Russians and whether they were involved in the elections or not. And so in this painting, where we have all the Republicans are painted and depicted exactly alike, like if they're all Trumpsters. And then in the background, it says State of the Union in Russian. Just having a little bit of fun. It was the only thing that actually gave me my sanity during that time to deal with all the controversy that was going on. The circle of friends is where it all kind of began for me. You know, my influence is Henri Matisse, the French Impressionist. Henri Matisse is my favorite artist, and the first piece that I ever saw by him was La Danse. And it was these people in this circle. There was harmony and there was movement and there was a simple elegance to it that I was inspired, and that's how I started painting. And my version of it is a version of inclusiveness, of people of different races being that circle of humanity. It almost is emblematic also of like the Olympics, all nations coming together to compete fairly. And they're all in this circle. Their experience in this circle is all going to be the same. They're all moving around the same central place. And so I would like to end this show with this piece, because we've all been hurt and the hurt is deep. But I think this is people coming together with empathy and experiencing the same experiences. And I think that's how we move forward from this. I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope you realize that this is not judging anyone, but it is trying to raise awareness that if you can look at me and see my pain after you hold me up to all these esteems or whatever, think of those less fortunate than I am. I thank you for coming in. Peace to you and your families. God bless.